Hi guys, this is just a short screencast on how to pass F7 financial reporting. So what is this exam all about? It's a 3-hour exam in the same style as the rest of the ACCA papers, and it covers group accounting and various other accounting issues that you'll be dealing with whether you're in practice or in any industry really. So some people are actually exempt from this exam, but if you do have to sit it, maybe your degree didn't get you exemptions, or maybe you're just doing all the fundamentals, this is a really good exam to get to grips with at this level for the next stage of the professional exams. So whenever you're going to do P2, if you have a good understanding of the issues in F7, it's really going to help you whenever you come to do the next exam. So what do you need to do in order to pass this exam? Well, you need to make a plan. You know whenever your exam is going to be, so you need to establish how long it's going to take you to cover the syllabus. So break it up into, bite-sized chunks and just tackle everything one step at a time. So you have this plan in place and you need to keep up with this plan. Do not fall behind in this module, otherwise it's going to just add to the pressure that you really do not need whenever you're doing this exam. And you need to keep motivated. So you need to establish what your motivation is for doing this exam. Is it maybe to get a better job, to get more money, to maybe buy a wee speedboat like that guy has there? Just whatever it is, you need to keep this in mind. And just every time that you're thinking of maybe, putting studying off for an evening or, 2 evenings or whatever, just think, right, is this really going to get me to where I want to be? So here we have a quote by Albert Einstein, and he's saying, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So why I'm putting this in here is because quite a lot of people, whenever they come to revising or they're maybe tackling a subject for the first time, they do the same thing over and over again and maybe do not pass the exam or they get poor results. And what they're doing is just reading the textbook over and over and over again. So you might, know the course inside out in that respect. But really this act of passive learning is not going to be enough to pass this exam or even to do well in this exam. The only way that you are going to ensure that you pass this exam is by doing questions and questions and questions. So here's the examiner, a quote from the examiner's report for the last exam, and he's saying, as usual, there were some examination technique issues that caused problems. So here again, he's sort of highlighting the issue of people passive learning. So, they understand the material, but whenever it comes down to actually, do the question itself, they don't have enough experience and they haven't had enough practice at doing this. So again, the answer to this is questions, questions, questions. Honestly, you can never do enough questions whenever it comes to doing these exams, especially the types of exams such as financial reporting and for tax, for example, where there's a lot of computations and you maybe get a scenario where there's an awful lot of information that you need to be delving through in order to do this exam. So just a couple of thoughts. Within this exam, you're going to be dealing with groups, so consolidations, and a lot of people seem really put off by these types of questions just because there's so much information in them and, there's so many workings that are required. But really, do not be put off by this. The first question is going to be a compulsory, group question, so you need to have this area really, really well covered. However, see within the examiner's report last time, he was saying, as with past papers, the best answered questions were the consolidation in question 1 and then the financial statements preparation in question 2. So really this should, give you a bit of confidence that these questions, although at the start, once, before you've got your head around all what you need, all the technical areas, these questions can really help boost your marks within this exam and help to push you up to that 50% level that you need. Another thing whenever you're doing F7 is use the syllabus. The examiner is going to be using this syllabus to prepare the exam and to base his exam on. So what better tool for you to use to base your studies on than the syllabus? Use it as a checklist coming up to the exam and start going through and saying to yourself, have I covered this? If so, where have I seen it? what questions were there, that you can remember that you saw this issue in, and maybe even, what difficulties did I have with it? And then this is going to sort of ensure that you know this area inside out. And if you don't, go back and have a review over it. And this will probably pinpoint the areas that you're maybe struggling with so that you can go back and just, brush up on them. The last thing I'm going to probably say is the technical articles on the ACCA website. These are free resources that really you should make great use of. They're written quite often by the examiner and will really give you a good insight as to what he's actually looking for within the various different topics in the syllabus. And again, this isn't doing questions, so again, it's like passive learning. But if there's an area that you're finding maybe particularly difficult, or you just can't get your head around, this is going to maybe just make the penny drop, so they're well worth looking at. So no matter where you study for F7, hopefully it's with us, but best of luck in everything that you're doing, and good luck for your exams and your results.